Hey, welcome back to JSA TV. We are live at MetroConnect 2026. I'm so excited to be joined right now by Ross Toepel. He is the National Project Development Manager for Data Centers at KROHNE. Ross, thank you for being here today.
It's great to be here, Emily. Looking
Yeah.
forward to forward to the conversation. Sorry,
No,
yeah.
you're good. Me
Yeah.
too. Me too. And
Yeah.
where I want to start is about rack densities in data centers are just skyrocketing right now because of AI. So I'm curious how KROHNE is helping manage the intense thermal demands that are causing people to look to liquid cooling as a solution.
Yeah, I think kind of the big point that I'd like to make here is, ultimately the data center industry kind of and measurement technologies were driven from the HVAC space, which was very not very robust measurements in terms of the instrumentation themselves. We come from the process industries. Example is we measure mining slurries at 20 feet per second with sand and rocks and dinosaur bones flowing through it in the middle of a desert or it being covered in water or whatever it might be. And this is water at 72 degrees. Pretty simple measurement, but it's super important if we lose that measurement and we're not capable of telling the operators what's happening, we could lose servers. So moving from let's say a less robust measurement transmitter or device to a more robust transmitter device just brings safety and a little bit more insurance to the industry. So I think that's kind of where we fit. Mean time between failures on our devices is in excess of 350 years. So you can trust us to make these measurements, and especially when you got these densities and you got all this stuff going on, you got to make sure everything's being done correctly. So that's how we
when
fit in.
it's mission critical,
Mission
can't
critical.
afford
That's
to fail, right?
Thank you. Yeah, exactly. Mission critical.
Great.
100%, yeah.
And then the other important thing to having these measurement systems is product availability. Have to have the product available to make it work. So I'm curious about how you help contractors and owners today ensure that product availability.
Yeah,
is there.
so that was one of the things that as we're a newcomer to the space. Really started working on building the business and developing the business since early last summer. And immediately what we recognized was product availability is going to be the issue. KROHNE is the world's largest manufacturer of magnetic flow meters, as an example, which is the one that we're predominantly selling into the space right now, especially at the utility water and on the technical water side. So we have this huge capacity to manufacture these meters, and we've identified the data center space as obviously the fastest growing space for us to be able to manufacture for. So we've committed to the industry. We're going to build products. We're going to make them available. And the other part about the whole thing is we're focusing on several of our technologies so that we don't have to provide somebody 6 different choices with 6 different options. We're going to be focusing on a select few models that we're going to be producing specifically for the space. So having product available is going to be key. I think I read a LinkedIn post not that long ago where a guy was talking about power and supply chain. Not a surprise, right?
Yeah.
So we're just as important. I mean, we talk about the big capital products like chillers and VFDs and big power supplies. But if you don't have a meter in a pipe on time when it's supposed to be there, nothing else gets built around that facility because you got to cool everything as well. So we are committed to providing products to the industry and making sure on-time delivery is going to be, it's like our number one priority. That's what we hear from everybody, time to first megawatt, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think something else that's really important is going to be the sustainability piece and just
Sure.
making sure that the measurements are keeping up with all the latest in PUE, WUE. So talk to me a little bit about environmental stewardship and how KROHNE helps there.
Yeah, it's interesting because we get asked that question quite a bit. And really what it comes down to is we're just, a small cog in the wheel. And really at the end of the day, whether it's where you're controlling a data center or you're managing for efficiency a data center or any other industrial process, you have to have the measurement. And so a great flow measurement, a pressure measurement, a temperature measurement is important for making those control decisions. And those control decisions are going to be in part defined by efficiency, right? And then that's going to be the net result is sustainability is going to come from a very efficient process as it's managed. So the big takeaway is you cannot control something you don't measure. So it's really important to make sure that you're making these measurements and you're making them accurately, repeatably, and of course, it's going to have to be something that's going to hold up to the long term. So our contribution is you measure it, use our stuff to measure it, and you're going to be able to control it and be more efficient.
Excellent. I love that. Well, thank you so much for being here
Of
today. I'm
course.
going to go ahead and give you a little cheers
All right,
for
cheers.
being here. Thanks,
All right.
Ross. And
Appreciate it.
to our viewers, stay curious, stay connected, and happy networking.